Hello, I'm Alex Stevenson, reporting for Yahoo and Politics.co.uk in the final days of the Scottish independence referendum campaign. I'm in Edinburgh, where I'm asking voters what they make of the debate.
I think it's a good idea to have independence because Scotland has a very different political system from the rest of the UK, and it's not that we don't want to be British or we don't like the English, it's just that we're our own people and we need to be able to govern ourselves and have our own sovereignty, and that's all it is. It's not that we want to split away necessarily.
So what do you think, how would Scotland be different if it was independent?
I'm not sure it would be that different. I don't think we'd notice much walking around the streets, but I think we'd have safer NHS, we'd have no Trident missiles on our ground, which would be fantastic. I think we would care for the more vulnerable in our society because they're not being cared for right now. Nobody can say that they are. And I think that there's a will in Scotland to do that for other people, to care for the person next to them. Not that there isn't in England, but the Westminster government doesn't see it that way.
In the world now, we have extremism, we have mass migration in Europe. The last thing we want to do is split up the UK. I'm absolutely voting no.
I'm really not sure. I think it's a good thing in a way, but I don't know if to do with the military and to do with all the finance, I don't know about that yet. I'm just not sure if it's the right time just now.
I mean, how would you feel if Scotland did become independent, if there was a yes vote?
Part of me would be proud of it, but part of me is just a bit anxious because I don't really know how it's all going to work out.
Okay. And what do you think of the campaign? Has it been divisive for Scotland, or has it brought Scotland together?
I think it's kind of splitting us, to be honest, because there's a lot of aggressiveness towards the yes and no.
I just think they put out a number of benefits for yes, but there's no real facts behind them, there's no real evidence for one or the other, to be honest. So there's going to be less change for no, and it's a more known area. And also, I think I may be persuaded to be yes if all these things have been sorted out and we actually knew exactly what we were voting for.
Well, I run small businesses, and I believe that independent Scotland has more chance to make its own rules for small business development, as contrast to large businesses which are based in England. So that's basically what I think.
Lots of people say that Scottish businesses, the Scottish economy would be damaged in the event of independence.
Well, we don't really know. I think it's up to the politicians to get it right. If they do, then all will be well. I think it's an opportunity anyway.
I'm a Scot by heart, but Australian by birth, so I think independence sounds like a good idea in the romantic view of things. I would hope it would be as practical a solution for Scots people as they have now. I hope they would still have the same rights and the same advantages and privileges, but more so.
Come from no to yes. The risks, there are risks in staying where we are. The risks are palpable where we are. There's a massive shift to the right throughout Europe. There certainly is in the rest of the UK. The UKIP's getting bigger. There's things like the EDL and so on and so forth that we really don't have here. So the risks for me are actually greater in staying, especially with a young girl. And I'm dual national, she's tri-national. I've got no interest in living in a right-wing society.
I actually think we need to stay together. Stay as a whole. I mean, if they want to split, I think in the short term they may think it's a good thing, but long term, I think it's just be a disaster.
It's got everybody talking about politics in a way that they haven't for years. I used to be very apathetic. It's brought me back round to politics in a big way, and I think that can only be good for the nation.